You're listening to Underestimated, the podcast that helps overwhelmed small business owners turn their size into their unfair advantage so they can grow without burning out. Now here's your host, Shawna Suckow.
Are you a new business and you're trying to figure out how to get those first customers through the door when you don't yet have a track record, a reputation, reviews, anything like that? Or if you are a business who is trying to come up with ideas to kind of jumpstart your business, this episode is for you. Today, I'm going to be covering unique ways that you can get new customers. And examples are going to include a roofer, a chiropractor, a Botox provider, a painter, permanent makeup, and a trade show. So kind of a whole array of different types of businesses. And hopefully you can see yourself in at least one of these and glean some ideas for your business. So let's start out with a story about a business that I owned. This was back in 2009. One of the many, many businesses. I've always been an entrepreneur since third grade, when I sold pencils with like fuzzy hair on them and googly eyes. That was a big hit with the third graders. So in 2009, I decided I owned an event planning business and I was tired of being at the mercy of my clients. I was getting weary of being an event planner, having this business, and I wanted to be in charge of my own destiny. I wanted to own my own event rather than be a planner for other corporations or associations. So I decided to create my own consumer show, basically, like one of those shows like the boat show or the hunting show or whatever that you've probably been to a consumer show in your life. I decided that I was going to create one of these. And I live in Minneapolis, and there was a man who started a show for women. And it was a women's conference. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to start a trade show for men. And so I started this thing called the Guy Expo. I had no reputation in trade shows, consumer shows. I had no credibility for the types of sponsors that I was going to need and the types of exhibitors that I was going to need to convince to part with their money, that I could bring in the foot traffic and the customers. So what I decided to do is I decided to go after two huge corporations, Best Buy and Lowe's, because I had this vision of what this show could be. And I wanted to create the ultimate man cave and have this be a cornerstone on the show floor where people could walk in to this structure and it would replicate like this cool man cave. And so I wanted Lowe's to build it. And I wanted Best Buy to deck it out with all the technology. And then I wanted to find an interior designer to come and make it really, really cool. So this was my vision for this trade show, this magnet that I could really then take that and go, look what's going to be here. And there were a lot of other things like this. Someday I'll maybe go into some of these other things. It was so cool. I loved this so much. So I created a prospectus and I got a meeting with Best Buy and I got a meeting with Lowe's, and I went in and I said, I want to give you my platinum sponsorship. You, Best Buy, and you, Lowe's, will be the platinum sponsors of the inaugural Guy Expo. And here's what it's going to entail. And I gave away this marketing package that at the time I could have easily charged anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 if I had the track record, but I didn't. So both of them, thank goodness, both of them said yes. And it was going to be an expense, especially for Lowe's. They had to bring in lumber and they had to bring in builders and they had to bring in drywall, and they had to basically create this structure on the show floor in a really short period of time as well. And that's how I did it. In a nutshell, I then was able to go to Pizza Hut and Harley Davidson and Hooters and MMA. I had an MMA group come in and put a ring in the middle of the trade show floor. And they all said yes because they saw other companies said yes. And those other companies gave me credibility and gave them the ability to trust me. And it worked. It worked. Unfortunately, man, as a new trade show owner, I did not know what I didn't know. And long story short, I picked the wrong weekend. I picked a beautiful summer weekend, of which there are not many in Minneapolis because summer is very short, in August for an indoor show. And right across the street was the Irish Festival, which was free and outdoors and a raucous good time. And man, so it wasn't good. I eventually did it again in another market, blah, blah, blah. But just to say, I've had some hard knocks too. So if you are a small business owner, I've been where you are. But that is one idea is give away a big thing and get the credibility from that company. Make sure that you have the ability to get testimonials or have that big company give you reviews or get the footage, get video, get photos, get all the things that then you can turn those into marketing assets to get other similar companies or people to say yes. So that is idea number one is just to give it away. Let's talk about, say, a roofing company. Similar idea is to, you maybe have seen on TikTok or Facebook or whatever platform you're on, videos of there's a guy that does yard cleanup and he goes to overgrown yards and finds people who are struggling, who, for whatever reason, maybe health issues or money issues, they have not taken care of their yard and it's gotten way out of hand. And he offers to do it completely for free as long as he can videotape himself doing it and show the before and after. And not to mention this guy who's, in one city has gone viral and has hundreds of thousands of followers and millions of views for this. It helped him grow in his community. But he's getting paid by TikTok and Facebook too for doing this. But how can you show what you do if it's a service like roofing? And I know there's an expense involved, but if you do it for charity, let's say, that's a write-off. Or you could start out and have fun doing re-roofing a doghouse and have fun with it and show the process and say, this is what we could do, but on a larger scale for your house. And look at all the things that you could do and have a series of dog houses. And I mean, that's just one idea, but show your work, get video of you doing it, not just the pretty after and the ugly before, but what I call the messy middle and you doing the work, your people doing the work. Interview them as they're doing it. Oh, it's really hot today up on this roof of this doghouse. How you coming along with it, Phil? And Phil, have fun with it too, but make sure that you get the assets that you can use because those assets can be used for years, but they will certainly help you stop the scroll and attract your customers and have footage, have photos, have stories, have testimonials, have Google reviews, Yelp reviews, whatever, from happy customers who were so grateful, even for you to do their doghouse, but especially if you did like a small home for an elderly couple who really needed it, or you went in after a storm and you offered your services. Those are the types of things that establish trust. They stand out and they make you unforgettable. By the way, I have lots and lots of free resources for you in my vault. I've got some paid tools that are more in-depth and took me a lot more time to create, but there are 90% of these tools, and there are dozens of them, are free. And you just go to thebuyerinsider.com/vault and they are there for you. I want to help as many small businesses as I can. And if you can't afford to hire me for a one-on-one, one-time marketing assessment, or you can't be in one of my audiences, at least you can take advantage of the free resources. Let me talk about another home service because this one stands out to me in my local market, and that is painting. There is a young man who his name is Ryan Pettis, and he owns Pettis Painting. And if you saw just him, his social media and so forth, and he was just putting before and after shots up like every painter does, you would say, "Ooh, this guy's pretty young. What could he possibly know about painting? I don't know if I trust him." And you'd have some hesitation. Well, Ryan goes a different route, and he has bought some Facebook ads, and he talks about painting while a project is underway. And he's like, this is what we're doing today. And sometimes he has like a worker, one of his coworkers there, and he interviews that worker and he shows what he's doing. And, here's what this wall looks like. We haven't done this wall yet, but we've done this wall. This is, what's underway, and we've still got this to do, and we're going to do the ceiling. And he makes an ad out of that. And he doesn't have to do an ad, but certainly it reached me. So you can reach your exact right customers through whatever social platform your customers are on by advertising and finding your exact demographic of the people who are most likely to be your target customers. But it doesn't have to be ads. Those make great stories as well. If you don't have the money to pay for ads, those stories stop the scroll as well. It has to be something that your competitors aren't doing. And all of your competitors are saying, here are pretty after shots, and we do interior, and we do exterior, and we do cleanup, and we do spackle, and we do repairs. And they're saying all the same things. So it's about showing you the before, the messy middle, and the after. Same with roofing, same with any type of service like that. I've seen barbers do this with a before and after. I've seen all types of companies do this. Think about how that could apply to your company. Now let's talk about a market that is very, very saturated, and one that my bonus son is going into. He is going to become a chiropractor very, very soon, and he can either work at another chiropractic practice or he can open up his own shop. And a lot of chiropractors dive in and open up their own practice, and that's a lot of risk for especially a young, brand new, just out of school chiropractor to take on a lot of expense. And so how can Brady, my bonus son, how can he differentiate himself? How can he start out when he has no customers and be able to pay the rent and be able to buy the equipment he needs and all of the machinery and all of the tools and the x-rays and all the things that he's going to need? Well, he's going to have to get loans, but how can he do this quickly and with as little risk as possible? He has to do something different. He cannot just go into business and say, we work with health insurance, we work with auto injuries, we work with workers' comp, we are customer focused, we have your health in mind. Those are all things that every chiropractor says. So Brady's going to have to go about this a little differently. And I was just thinking, what could Brady do? He could come up with theme parties, theme nights to get people in the door, theme days. What about game day? He could rent or bring in, I know he's got a big screen TV. He could bring in a giant screen TV and have a game day party, where I came up with this cracks and snacks because you're cracking people's backs. This is just off the cuff, people, okay? But get a bunch of guys and women too, but get them through the door for a game watching party, and you offer the snacks and you offer the drinks, and you get to and start with your friends, start with your family, just get people in there to show what such an event could look like. So you get other people that go, okay, I could have a game watch party. That's really cool. Or I could have a some other type of party there, get my friends there, and we're all going to go after the after the triathlon. We're going to have a post triathlon party, and all of my fellow triathletes, we're going to go and we're going to get our backs cracked, and we're going to have some protein and carbs, and we're going to refuel, and we're going to work out the kinks. And maybe Brady brings in a massage therapist who's also looking to get new customers, and you create an experience. This again makes great stories, gets great footage, gets great photos, reviews. Everybody that comes in, especially your first couple times, if you do something like this for free or very low cost, make sure that they know the price of admission is that you want, if they're happy, you want them to give you a video testimonial, a written testimonial on Google, on Yelp, wherever you are positioned to get reviews. And you're going to take photos, you have them sign a release. But something like that is going to stop the scroll. It's going to build trust. It's going to differentiate you, and it's going to make you unforgettable. These are the types of things that do all of those things for very little cost for somebody who's new in business or just wants to try something different. I told you I was going to talk about Botox. I don't know if I mentioned permanent makeup, but this is another idea that I had I have a friend in St. Louis, Angela, and she does Botox parties every 3 months when her friends, every 3 months is generally when you get fresh Botox injections because they wear off. Every 3 months at her house, she has a Botox party where she has a provider come to her house, and she gets a discount for her and all of her friends because this provider comes after hours on an evening or on a weekend when she's not at work. And she knows she's going to get a lot of clients in a short amount of time. And so she offers them a deal. And in return, she gets all of these customers. She gets this great reputation. She gets reviews. She gets word of mouth from this. And it is hard to get into Angela's Botox parties now because Angela's Botox parties have this cool reputation of being really fun too. So anybody who does like lashes or permanent makeup, like brows, which is semi-permanent, it's called permanent, but if you're looking to get customers, this is the type of thing that, again, makes you stand out, gets you the marketing assets that you need, gets you the reputation. And if I am going to get semi-permanent makeup, I want to see examples of this before I go in. Now, if say like my niece is starting a permanent makeup business, I'm going to go in because I know her and let her do it on me. Maybe maybe early on and take that risk because I know her and I love her. But otherwise, if I'm a stranger and I'm looking online for providers of this, I'm either going to go to Groupon, which is unfortunate because people that advertise their businesses on Groupon, they don't get a lot of money for that. And that may be worth doing for your business. You have to decide that for yourself, but ask others in your industry if they've had success before you do it. But the other way to do that is to just create social media worthy experiences and can you imagine a bridal party coming in, maybe at their bridal shower that is, a couple months beforehand, they come and they get their brows done or they get waxing done or they get Botox or whatever, and it becomes a fun thing. I know of a tattoo shop that offers this as a package, and it's a way for them to get people through the door. And she has hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok, and it's created this great reputation. So just another way for you to think differently. I hate the term think outside the box. I say throw away the box and create your own experience. Look to other industries and see what other people have done and see if you can adopt something like that for your company. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this has given you at least one idea that maybe you can try and adopt. And if you do try one of these, please let me know about it. You can reach me through my website, or you can message me if you happen to be on one of the social channels viewing this, or just let me know, because I would love to give your business some free media coverage as well, maybe have you on the show. So keep me posted. And thank you for tuning in to Underestimated.
Thanks for listening to Underestimated, hosted by Shawna Suckow. To connect with Shawna, go to thebuyerinsider.com.